long story short, listening to my intuition saved my life.
Hello, I'm so excited. We are here with one of my good friends, Elysia Skye. She's an intuitive business coach and she has her own podcast as well, The Brilliance Method. She's going to share with us some amazing insight about intuition. So, welcome, Elysia.
Thank you, Lindsey. It's good to see you. And I hope your audience checks out your episode on my show, which by the time this is out, we should sort of be out around the same time. So, what a treat for everybody.
Yes, for sure. Well, I know here, we've kind of met on one of my other podcasts, but here you're a little new. So, can you share with us just a little bit about who you are and how you got to this space of where you are today?
Yeah, it's always a wild ride, isn't
Yeah.
it? And what a great question for anyone to reflect for themselves. Like, who am I and how did I get here? And when we pause to do that, it's a mindfulness practice to go, I'm not in the future, but even though I have a past, who am I in this moment?
Mm-hmm.
And what gets me through everything, and this will go into my story a little bit, is in this moment, I am safe.
Mm.
And when we remember that, we can pretty much accomplish anything. So if we back up, let's see, 20-ish years ago, 2000, end of 2005, I was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer and I was really young. And that threw me for a loop. I was acting full time in Los Angeles. Then I lost my hair, went through cancer treatments, and long story short, listening to my intuition saved my life. And I talked about that a little bit on your other show that I was on, that there were doctors and other professionals who had said, no, you don't have cancer. You're not sick. You're really young. It might just be a cyst. But I knew beyond a shadow of a doubt, Lindsey, that something was wrong.
Mm.
And we can all pause and think about a moment in our life that we knew, we just had a feeling, whether we acted on it or not, whether we trusted ourselves or not, whether we regret listening to it or not. Usually we regret it when we don't listen to it.
Yeah.
And I absolutely would have. In fact, I probably wouldn't be here if I hadn't listened to it. So listening to my intuition has been a foundation of how I got here. And where am I now? I'm now in Nashville, Tennessee, and I shifted my life, after going through cancer treatments, losing my hair, having multiple breast reconstructions, my identity shifted. Like, who am I as a woman with
Mm.
different breasts, with different hair, with a different identity? Why did I get sick? And looking at how I didn't deal with fear and trauma and things that were really difficult in my life, stress, how I burned myself out all the time trying to people please in the entertainment industry, and so many things, so many crazy stories that we probably don't have time for today. But hopefully I'll get to connect with people in your audience and they'll come and find my show and learn more about these things or work with me. But ultimately, when I took a step back in 2020, my brother-in-law had asked me, how do you do it? How do you, everything you build becomes successful? You're married to the love of your life. You've got this dream house that you live in. And it was such a grounding moment of gratitude to go, wow, I did it. There was a moment I was dying, and now life is bliss. Doesn't mean there's not hard moments and challenges, and I'm not hard on myself sometimes. It's not sunshine and rainbows all the time, but at least it is the majority of the time. And I can be grateful for that. And I could lead by example for that. So I took a step back and I went, how did I do it? And that's how the Brilliance Method came to be. It started with listening to and trusting my intuition, not just for my health, but in my romance, in my business, and then really taking a strong look at fear and making choices from love and not fear. How
Mm-hmm.
can I be the most loving to myself and others instead of why am I avoiding something or doing something because I'm scared? When we just make that little shift, our whole life starts to show up differently. And then, there's so many more. There's actually 8 modules in my program, but it once we get more into it, it's tapping into what's your purpose? What are you here to do? The universe, God, source, spirit put a gift in your heart for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it. I believe that our abundance truly shows up when we're doing more of what we feel motivated and inspired to do in our lives. And so many people aren't doing the thing that lights them up or makes them happy because maybe they feel stuck or they have to do certain jobs. They got to take care of their kids or themselves or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I get that. So what I help my teams with and my individual entrepreneurial clients as well is finding ways to carve out that space and create your life from a place of purpose.
Oh, that's beautiful. And how old were you when you got diagnosed?
I had just turned 24.
Wow.
I was like fresh 24. My birthday is in third week of August, and this was third week of September. So I was a month into being 24, and I just turned 44 this past summer in 2025. We're filming this right before the new year. So, um, yeah, 20 years cancer free and getting to reflect every day. Holy crap, I'm here. I did it. I'm still doing the damn thing. Life is still lifing pretty hard. And every day I get to make a decision on what's the most loving thing I can do for myself and others.
Wow, that is so amazing. And I know that is just such a huge inspiration because it is becoming common now, unfortunately, that, women are feeling like, man, like, who am I now? I've had to change my body. I've gone through this like whirlwind of like my health. Like, one day I'm fine, and one day I'm like fearing for my life. And so, the fact that you are just shining right now 20 years later, and like that, to me, I always just marvel at that amazing strength that you have, and any other women that have survived that is just amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. And you've been through some stuff.
Yeah.
So here
Yeah,
we
it's
are.
a journey.
Hmm.
And it keeps going, but okay, I love that. And I love what you said about, we always regret when we don't listen to ourselves. And
Yeah,
it's like, how many times have we ever said, like, I'm so happy I didn't listen to myself? Like that
rarely.
never happens. So how did you ever feel like your intuition got a little wonky throughout that journey of having, 'cause some of the things that I've experienced with other women that I've worked with is they're having doctors tell them like, well, you need to do this next, you got to do that. And if you don't want to experience this again, you've got to do this and do that. And, like always being on edge and fearful of either something returning or just in life in general, just getting outside information of what we perceive someone else to be, authorities and all of that. How did you navigate that with your intuition? Was there ever a point where you're like, nope, I'm not doing that. I'm doing this and this feels right to me? Or how did that work for you?
Sure. And that's how I do everything. I
Mhm.
I do a lot of noping. Nope, that doesn't feel right to me.
Mhm.
And the more you do it, the more you learn to trust it, the more you build that muscle. And as I shared, that is what had me save my life because my doctors were saying, you can just wait. Let's see if it's a cyst. Let's see if it
Mm.
gets bigger. Let's see if it looks different. I was like, no, right? So that sometimes, depending on how present you are, what's going on in your life, your intuition can be really, really loud. And that doesn't necessarily mean you hear it in your ears. It might just be a feeling or obsessive knowing
Mhm.
and or even a feeling in your body. We all have different types of ways that we tap into our intuition. And I can walk us through the clairs if that would be helpful for everyone
Yeah,
to kind of get an idea of what that is.
for sure.
And when we hear it, and we second guess it because like you said, an expert or someone might be telling us do this, do that. And it's true in business too. You might have a business coach or even a friend or someone, or in relationships, you have a feeling about someone. Are they being unfaithful to me? Or wow, I really love this person. Like, what's like, why isn't it working out? And
Exactly.
like we know, we just know. And usually if you're feeling a certain way, they're probably feeling that certain way too, especially if it's on the end of things aren't really working, right?
Mhm.
And then we just let other people get involved, and that's the whole point of having someone fabulous to reflect back to you what is going on, and having someone you trust to guide you, that knows what you want, that can give
Mhm.
you unbiased, helpful opinions and experience shares. And I love all sorts of support. So it's more helpful to choose doctors, to choose coaches, to choose friends who ultimately trust you, that you know what's best for your body, your business, your heart, your health, your mental health, your life.
Mm.
And you're connecting with these people who are so specific, niche, like I call it sushi knives. A sushi knife has a very specific purpose.
Mhm.
It might be for fillet or boning or chopping, where a utility knife is good, on all sides, but it's like a little bit dull everywhere.
Mhm.
So if you're going to seek advice outside of your own intuition, let it be someone who is so sharp with one specific purpose or intention and how they help you, and
Mhm.
learn to trust yourself more than anyone else.
Mhm. Oh, that was just like a huge pile of golden nuggets. 'Cause I've never heard that. I've never heard someone say to choose someone that trusts you. It's always the other way around,
Yeah,
where it's
for
like,
sure.
"You just need to trust me," you know? Like,
Yep.
um
Trust yourself.
yeah, and so wow, okay, I'm gonna sit with that later on, but I do love that because it is so important that the people you invite in your life should be extensions of you, and that looks different for
Totally.
everyone. And that's why I think alignment is just so important with being able to move to the next step because obviously, you have people that have, maybe gotten 2 steps ahead because they've experienced it so they can kind of help you navigate the challenge that you might be in, but at the same time, it's like it's got to be right.
It's gotta be right. Exactly. It's gotta be right. And, when we regret something, it's usually because we didn't listen to ourselves.
Mhm.
And like you said earlier, how many times do we say, "Man, I shouldn't have listened to myself," right? That you're only gonna say that if you made a decision that was not on behalf of your intuition, of your heart, your gut, that intuitive knowing. That's the only time we're like, "Man, I knew that job wasn't going to work out, or I knew that loan was going to fall through, or I shouldn't have put all my eggs in this one basket, or I knew they were going to cheat on me, or I knew she was going to stab me in the back, or whatever it is." It's so funny. It's just, this is my life, right? So I'm part of this networking community, and we're really specific about who we let into the community. And I did a call, just kind of a connect call for someone who was applying to be part of the community. And I was talking about certain things about my life and my business and how I work and how I operate. And I could tell this person was just a little uncomfortable with my woo woo side,
Oh,
so to
wow.
speak. Right. Like I could just tell they got really quiet and this or that. And so then when I went back to the group and they were like, how was she? Does she seem like she's going to be really a great part of our group? And I said, I want to include her. I want to be inclusive. I just got a weird feeling that when I started talking about my intuition and different psychic work that I do connected to business, that she was a little uncomfortable, even though she didn't say that. I just kind of felt it. And they were
Mhm.
like, "Elysia, just go with your gut. We can pass on her. It's okay." And I'm like, "I don't want to exclude anybody.
Yeah.
And they said, "Elysia, trust yourself. Go with your gut." I'm like, "Okay." So this was like yesterday, Lindsey, right?
Oh
Like this
gosh.
happens all the time, right? But I'm like, "But I want to be kind and I want to be inclusive and I want to be helpful." But I just have a weird feeling, right? This person's going to we're going to put all this energy and resources into having her be a part of this group with us, and then she's going to bail, right? And it's
Mhm.
it's draining on the group when that happens. And then about 30 minutes later, so I said, "Okay, let's pass." And they sent an email, to the main coordinator saying, "Hey, we're going to pass on having this person as part of our community." And I was feeling really bad. And then about 20 minutes ish, 20, 30 minutes later, I get an email from her saying, "Hey, it was so great to meet you. I do feel like there's some conflicts in how we operate in our business. So, thank you anyway. It's just not a match at this time." And I was like, "Oh, what a relief," right? She broke up with me before I could break up with her,
Me too.
but that was it. But it was so funny to have that other person in my community go, "Elysia, listen to yourself. Like, we don't want to be 6 months from now and then she bails." I'm like, "Okay, you're right. You're right. I just have a weird feeling." Sometimes you can't logic your way out of a decision. You just have to trust yourself.
Mhm. You really do. And I also love what you said about being the sharpest tool, like, just kinda taking this angle from all the business owners out there that it's like sometimes you feel this pressure to try to be all of these things and provide all of this value and provide X, Y, and Z. But to be the sharpest tool in that toolkit for that specific purpose, I think the way that you worded it just, I don't know, like it just was so smooth, because usually you just hear like you got a niche, you got to get, you hear that and you just don't really understand. Like you get it, but it's like, nah, that's for you, not for me, right?
Mhm. Right, I wanna help everybody,
Yeah,
or I can be
I
everything to
gotta do this
everyone.
thing. So I love that you said that, because I think it takes that pressure off of having to be like, people are so intelligent and they've already got everything built into their entity. So we don't have to be so much for everyone, because they've already got so much within them already. So that takes that pressure off as well. So I love that you mentioned that.
Yeah, I just want everyone to trust themselves so much and hire me and work with me when they want help getting out of their own way with this specific thing,
Mhm.
whatever that specific thing is.
I love it. I love it. Okay. So share with us the clairs.
Oh, sure. So you've probably heard the word clairvoyance, right? That's a very popular word in movies and TVs and whatnot. So clairvoyance is seeing, right? And when you have an intuitive vision. And a lot of people are more clairvoyant than they think they are
Mhm.
because they get it. We call it a mental image picture. They see an image in their mind. They may not see it as clear as like this water bottle that I'm holding up, right? Where they can actually physically touch it or something, but they can see it. I'm very clairvoyant. So when I'm working with clients, whether or not, when especially on the corporate side, I don't bring a lot of this terminology and this kind of education in. I'm just using these gifts when I'm working with people because I can see, I know, I feel it.
Mhm.
So in this seeing, it's like clear seeing is really what it means. So if you're the kind of person, if I say to you, Lindsay, can you imagine a pink elephant? Can you actually see that in your mind?
Yes.
Yeah, then you have the ability to be clairvoyant. Some people just can't put it together. Even if I said a gray elephant or a normal colored elephant, right? So
Mhm.
like I can't really see it, but I know in my mind what you're saying, and I have a knowing of it. So a knowing is clear cognizance. And some people confuse the two because they don't actually realize they're seeing an image. So clear cognizance is that clear knowing. It's usually, I call it really loud thoughts. And it's just, you just kind of know it. So when I'm working with a client and I pause to listen to what my intuition is saying,
Mhm.
it's not that I'm hearing, like I'll say, oh, I'm hearing this, but it's really just a loud thought. I'm not hearing a voice talking in my ear.
Mhm.
That is clairaudience.
Mhm.
So if you're the type of person who actually can hear your higher self, angels, guides, ancestors speaking out loud, that's clairaudience. And God bless those people who actually hear loud voices, or even loud whispers in their ears. Yeah. Right. It can be really distracting or really confusing. And when I was experiencing my spiritual awakening, I was hearing loud. I was hearing them go, Elysia, can you hear me? And I was like, what? And I thought that I was doing such a funny story. I was doing my laundry and I was folding laundry on my bed and I was hearing, Elysia, can you hear me? And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I must have accidentally called you. My phone must be under the laundry. And then I moved all the laundry away and my phone wasn't there. And I heard Elysia. I was like, yeah, hold on. I'm sorry. And so then I see my phone sitting on my dresser and I look at it and I'm not on a call. And my heart jumped. I was like, oh,
Ooh.
that was weird, right? And then because I got nervous, it went away and I was like, "Wait, come back. Hey everybody, come back. I'm here. I'm good." And like I was just too scared. I wasn't in the moment anymore. And it's so funny because when people think about, "Oh, I don't want to do my own dishes. I don't want to do my own laundry. I don't want to do some of this like kind of monotonous stuff in our house." Sometimes that's the time when we're just so dropped in and our little light bulb is on so spirit can come through really clearly.
Mhm.
Right? And, like, it's not always necessary to outsource everything in our lives. It's good to be human and to be present so we can be a beacon for that energy. So anyhow, yeah, tell me a little bit about your clairaudience, and then I'll share about the last 2.
For sure. Well, mine is only connected to my sister. So
Mhm.
anytime
Aw.
she's in certain moments of distress, and it's usually if I'm like kind of falling asleep or if I'm like very relaxed, I'll literally hear her and wherever she is. And so there was one instance where I was like laying down. I was actually like reading a book on frequency, but my mind, I was
Nice.
like kind of going in and out. And I heard, oh God, what did I hear her say? It was something like where I could hear that she was kind of like in a bathroom, and she was like, come back. I'm not feeling good." And I was like, "The heck?" And so
Oh.
I reached out to her maybe like an hour later, and I was like, "Hey, I'm just checking on you. Are you okay?" She was like, "Um, yeah, I'm okay. I just went home early." And I said, "Were you in a bathroom? Like, were you not feeling well?" And she was like, "You're freaking me out. Like, how did you know that?" And I was like, "I heard you." And she was like, "No, I literally just said that like 5 minutes ago." I heard it an hour before she actually had said it.
Wow. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I have chills. I love that.
Yeah, and then sometimes it's a feeling, or I feel like maybe she's in danger, or there's always something that I feel with her. And so I'll text her like, "Hey sister, how are you feeling? Are you okay?" And then usually, I
Mm.
mean, we're 16 years apart, so she will respond maybe the next day and just say, "Yeah, I'm okay, I'm fine." And so then I'll talk to her on the phone. She's like, "Well, actually, not really. Like this and this happened, and da 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 da." And I was so upset, and I was so this and so that. I was like, "Uh huh." Like I felt it. And so yeah, that's kind of how it works with me. I don't typically hear any kind of like any spirits or anything like that. It's usually just people that I may be very strongly, like for some reason, have a strong connection to, that I'll kind of pick up on their energy.
That's really beautiful.
Well, thank
So
you.
you have the ability to, yeah, to do it for anyone if you wanted to, and I'm sure as people have crossed over in your life and as they will as we get older, that they have a channel to come through.
Hmm. Yeah. And it took me a while to really get to a space of having it not quite mastered, I guess you could say, but like understood. Because once that was activated, like I've always been very sensitive. Just like I would either have dreams or something like that. That's the other thing, I have dreams. But it wasn't until I got to be about 26, so 10 years ago, that I would like start receive it was like crazy, like just receiving, and I was meditating all the time, that activated it, and I didn't like it at all. I was like, "Turn
Whoa.
this off. I don't like it. It's very disorienting. I feel like not grounded at all. I don't want to know what is going on in people's lives. I don't want to hear anything. I don't like this at all." And then when there would be people that would kind of know that I have that ability, they'd like try to suck everything out. Like, "What about this? What about that? What about this?" And I'm like, "Use your own intuition. Like, stop coming to me." um,
Yeah.
or there'd be some people where I know I was picking up on something, but they didn't want to share. And they're like, "No, I'm fine." And I'm like, "No, you're not." And then it'd be like
Mhm.
6 months later, like, "Oh yeah, this happened during this time." I'm like, "What's the point of having this gift if it's like it doesn't do anything?"
Well, I can answer that
Thank
question.
you.
So so sometimes we are shown or given information, or you hear information that isn't really fun to hear. And what's the purpose of knowing if something is wrong? Well, in that situation, you knew something was wrong, right? And your friend's like, "No, I'm fine." But you knew it, Lindsay. So
Mhm,
in knowing something was off with them, your behavior probably shifted even though they said they were fine. You probably were a little more nurturing, a little
mhm,
more patient. You practiced not being defensive, not taking things personally. It helped you to drop in a more mindful way. You became more compassionate and open in the moment because
mhm,
your little beacon is going off. No, something's up, right?
mhm,
So we actually just are kinder humans when we have that awareness, whether or not that person wants to tell us or not.
mhm,
The other thing is, sometimes I'll see or feel something going on with a client or something in their future that I don't necessarily need to share with them.
Mm.
I'll give you an example. I was reading someone, this was many, many months ago, and I'll kind of shift the details so they can't figure it out. But they had said that they were worried about someone in their family. And they were thinking, should I move back home because this person in my family is not feeling well and I'm afraid, something's going to happen and this or that. And so I asked them, I said, hey, how old is this family member? And they said, oh, she's 75. And I heard a number in my head that I feel is when that family member is going to pass away.
Mm.
And it wasn't too different from the number that they said.
Mm.
So am I going to say, hey, she's going to die soon? No, of course not.
Yeah.
So I can kindly respond with, if you feel like moving to this city is the best thing for you and your family and your career, then you move to that city. But it's always a good thing to spend quality time with people we love who are older because we just don't know how much more time we're going to have with them.
Mm-hmm.
So if you, my sweet, beautiful client, are feeling intuitively guided that you need to spend more time with this family member because your time might be limited, I would just trust that,
Perfect.
right? I don't have to share some doom and gloom information.
Right. Right.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
That's going to send everybody into a panic. And God forbid, what if I'm wrong?
Right.
I'm usually not. But
something might shift and they might get an
yeah,
extension, right?
I don't want to get sued, right? I bought a house in this area in Colorado or North Carolina or Oregon. I'm like, why? Like, I didn't tell you to do that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if we have time. I'll just give a quick little example of what that can kind of feel like on the opposite side.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually speaking with one of my face readers. This was a few years ago. And, she's kind of like doing like her face reading on my map, mapping my face features. And it was all like super interesting.
That's cool. I've never heard of that.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Super intriguing. Well, I have like a little mole like right here, like a beauty mark, not really a mole. It's like a beauty mark. And it's actually this shaped like a heart underneath my eye. And so I asked her about it and she was like, yeah, that usually is an indicator of like a deep loss or grief around your like mid 30s. And I was
Mm,
like, oh,
that's
okay,
scary.
like that fucking sucks. Well, shift to now, I am 36 and my dad got diagnosed with cancer a year ago. And so for me, it just has created so much fear and anxiety instead of me focusing on trust and faith and, focusing on
Oh,
there like there could always be miracles. There could always be something else, right? Or, maybe it's not that, whatever, but my mind immediately went to that because I was in my head of like, well, when you're in your mid 30s, you'll experience a great loss and grief. And I'm like, so it's like it's almost made it to where my view of my age right now is like, oh, well, I'm just anticipating like something horrible is going to happen. And so
waiting for the
it's
shoe
just,
to drop.
yeah. So it's like sometimes you have to be so careful with who you speak to and in their delivery. You know what I mean? It can be kind of,
Yeah. Well, I think for anyone who's a healer, a service provider, even a coach, we have to practice discernment
mhm,
and compassion. And that's the main thing that I teach when I do corporate workshops is compassionate communication
mhm,
because you never know what impact what you're going to say has on that person when you're just feeling like I'm just delivering information. I'm being blunt. This is the facts. But facts can be delivered in a caring way. That's why doctors have something called bedside manner.
mhm,
And we want to give people hope and the idea that things can work out, the possibility that things can work out actually can shift the timeline we're on to
Mhm.
be healthier and for people in our lives to survive something. And look, you shifted a lot in your business in your mid 30s,
Mhm.
Lindsey. You did a whole rebranding.
Mhm.
That can be a grief experience. There's so much that you let go of what this other thing was, and you stepped into your power completely. And now you're on track to be who you are, and you had to shed that old skin.
Mhm.
It could just be that.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
So,
It's so many different interpretations it could be, but I just wanted to share that just from, like, the opposite
yeah.
angle of, like, how it can really impact someone's life to receive, a message from someone that you feel that trust with, that it can impact how they're going about the rest of their life, even though it was one conversation from, like, 3 years ago. I'm
Totally.
like,
You know, so
"Ah."
God, I'm so sorry that happened. And if anyone listening or watching to this has an experience like that, even if it's been a while, I would suggest in the moment, as much as you can, you're going to be stunned, right? But just say, "Hey, I need some clarity on that because as I move into that age range, I'm going to be waiting for something awful to happen. So, can you help me navigate that, please?
Right.
Because is someone going to die or is this a business thing? Like, you can't just drop that bomb on me like
Yeah.
that, you know?" And it would be kind of you to reach back out to her and say, "Hey, this has been haunting me, and now my dad's diagnosed, and I'm scared, and I keep thinking about what it is you're going to say." Now, if I don't, depending on your relationship with this person or how you trust them or how compassionate they are and how they communicate, I don't know that I would trust them to say the kind, right thing, right? Like, "Oh yeah, it could be your dad." Like, what? You know? So
Maybe.
you may not want to, but I would suggest for everyone in the moment, if something like that happens to you, just ask for clarity. You know,
Yeah.
we teach people how to treat us. So if we require more compassion in how we communicate, then we can be more compassionate. What a gift it is to them. You know, if I ever do anything like that, I certainly hope someone would say to me, "Hold on, Elysia, what do you mean by that?"
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, that's
and
true.
then I could clear it up.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
wow, that's wild.
Yeah.
Well, you and I can connect offline if
Oh,
you want
yeah,
me to
sure.
tune in for
Sorry,
you.
I'm just hijacking this whole story here.
No, this is
Let's
just equally about you, sweetheart. I'm just saying, I don't think you
No.
want me to do like a full reading right now.
No,
So,
no, no.
um,
Let's
but
continue.
anytime you want me to tune in for you or your family, I'm happy to do that. Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. When we have those bad feelings, so I'll just finish up with, let's just do one more Claire.
Yeah.
The, Claire, where did we leave off? What did I not share? I shared clairaudience,
Mhm.
clairvoyance, clair uh, cognizance is the knowing, clairsentience.
Mhm.
There's actually more than 4 or 5. There's like so many, but we'll just focus on those. So clairsentience is a feeling. Okay. Like, I said, "Oh my gosh, I feel it in my whole body," when you said something earlier, right? So most of us have all of them in some way,
Mhm.
but we have a dominant one that we tend to learn to lean on, to listen to and trust, especially if you're having a spiritual awakening, or if anyone watching is in the middle of kind of an awakening, and if you're like, "Am I in an awakening?" You're probably meditating more, listening to or watching shows like this,
Mhm.
going down YouTube rabbit holes about quantum experiences, timeline jumping, near death experiences, astrology, energy healing. Like, welcome to our world, right?
Yes.
And it's normal. It's totally normal. You are right on track. You are right on time. We are here to make this world and ourselves a better place. So if you have those feelings, people who are like, "Oh, I'm just really empathic, so I'm like sad all the time or sick all the time or whatever," it's a slippery slope. So if you're someone who really feels when something is going on, do your best to work with a guide or practice on your own to make sure you can shift out of feeling what the other person is feeling that you're tuning into or tapping into, and instead just having a recognition, a feeling for yourself of, "Oh yeah, this is true or not."
Mhm.
And I play this little game called Truth or a Lie, where if you get really familiar with what you know is true and where you feel it in your body, then you know when something isn't true, and you don't have to tap into how someone else is physically feeling. So you want to play that game real quick?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay. So I just got deja vu. It's so weird.
Really?
Okay, so Lindsay and anyone listening, if you imagine the sky, most of us where we live, unless you live in like somewhere deep in the Nordic areas or Swiss Alps or Alaska, the sky is blue all the time during the day, right? Most of the time. If you have a little bit of sunlight, the sky is blue,
Mhm,
right? So if I say to you, "Hey Lindsay, the sky is blue." And you know that that's true.
mhm,
If you're watching or listening to this at night, you can change it to dark. The sky is dark, right?
mhm.
So right now, just something true. You just know it. So it's not this intrusive feeling, but it's just a peaceful knowing of truth. Is there, if you scan your body quietly and mindfully from your head to your toes, where do you feel this truth? Yeah, the sky is blue during the day. The sky is blue. Where do you feel that?
In my chest, heart.
Your heart? So top, bottom, left, right. Try and get more specific. Where do you feel it?
Um, I would probably say about it almost feels like it's just the whole chest, like just left and right, just this
Mm-hmm.
area.
Okay, cool. Let's go into another truth, maybe that has a little more motion to it. You love your dad. You care about your dad. You want your dad to be healthy and feel well.
Mhm.
Where's that truth?
I feel it, throat and heart.
Okay, cool. And you're connected to your sister. You shared that story, so you think about your sister.
Mhm.
You have a deep, beautiful connection with her. Where do you feel that truth?
Mm, here on this my right side of my chest.
Interesting. Okay. So when we tune into just generic truth, so all of this is just a barometer, right?
Mhm.
Generic truth, you're just feeling it across your chest.
Mhm.
With your dad, where there's a little bit of worry and concern, you're feeling it in your heart and your throat chakra.
Mhm.
And then when you tune into just that love and connection you have for your sister, you're feeling it in your chest and a little more on the right. Okay, great. None of them are wrong. It's just kind of good to know. And we can all practice this. Some people might have different feelings like you did. You kind of had three areas. And some people might just have it in the same spot all the time. It just depends, right?
Mhm.
So, just for the sake of learning, let's do a very emotionless, false statement.
Okay.
Like, we live on Jupiter. Hey, Lindsay, this isn't Earth. You've been lied to your whole life. This is Jupiter.
Okay.
And you just say to yourself, I live on Jupiter. I am not on Earth. I'm on Jupiter. And tell me when you stop laughing, where do
Sorry.
you feel that in your body? If you really try to adopt that as your truth, where do you feel that in your body?
Okay, I live I can't even get it out. I live on Jupiter. Let me think. Or feel. I don't uh I live on Jupiter. I'm not really feeling too much. If I do feel anything, it's kind of like in my back, kind of like in the
Mm-hmm.
middle. Not my back, but like the middle of my body. It's kind of hard to explain,
Uh-huh.
but I don't really
Uh-huh.
feel it as strongly.
Okay, cool. Because it's just like not true, right? We're not tapped into it. We're not connected to it. Now, let's tune into a truth, or sorry, a lie that might be more emotional, right? Like someone, and we don't have to even say anything out loud. We don't want to put anything in the universe, but you can just have a quick thought of like someone you love, like I hate them, or we have a president right now. If you like them, then say you hate them. If you hate them, say you really love them, right? And just like notice where that shows up in your body. That might be a good one for you. I feel this way.
Yeah. Wow. Lots of so kind.
So something that is just total bullshit. Where do you feel it in your body?
Yeah. I don't know. It's hard. Like I'm thinking too much, I think.
Close your eyes. Give yourself one statement.
Mm, I'm gonna say it's kind of like I don't know, like kind of under my rib if I feel anything, but I don't feel any kind of like real sensation. But
Mm-hmm.
if I feel anything, it's kind of like right on my liver.
Yeah, interesting. And the liver is connected to. anger.
Mm.
Okay. So just interesting. Good to know, right? So with you specifically, when something isn't true, you're just not connected to it.
Yeah.
You're not really feeling it. It's hard for you to seek it and feel it out, right? So it's just that's your barometer. That's good to know for you.
Mhm.
So if you're tuning into something, you're like, is this true or not? If you'll feel it immediately, if it's true, you'll feel it in your heart or your shoulder or your throat. If it's not true, it's harder for you to get a read on it. So
Mhm.
that's just your barometer. And I would keep playing with it.
Mhm.
And for me, when I tune into something that's absolutely not true, like if I said, I hate puppies, right? Like I love all dogs, right? So if I'm like, I hate animals, then I feel like I get like almost queasy
It's
for a
sick,
second in my
right?
stomach.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I just like burped a little bit. Like it just doesn't feel good to me. And then when I think about like, oh my God, I love my dogs. I love my dogs, right? I just feel it right in my heart, right in the center of my chest, like totally in the center of my chest, almost leaning up into my throat, like you said.
Mhm.
That's my truth. When I think about how much I love you right now and being on this show, like it just feels so light. I feel on purpose when I tune into even something yummy I like. I love chocolate, right? It's like, oh yeah, that feels good. And I'm like, I
Mhm.
hate cilantro. So if I said I love cilantro, like immediately it's like, no. And even when you go into politics or a job, if I'm like, oh, you know what? I've done this coaching and consulting thing. It's fine. I'm going to go back to video production. I'm going to move to Los Angeles and I'm going to go back to being a producer in Hollywood like I did for 20 years. I just feel immediately this
Yep.
pit in my stomach like,
Mhm.
no, right? Our body knows. Our body knows the truth. Our body knows the answer. And the more we practice and play, we can get familiar with that feeling. So if you are in your head about something because you're too close to it, like someone you love very much and you're worried about them,
Mhm.
then you tune into your body and you just get quiet and go, they're going to be okay.
Mhm.
And if you don't get a feeling about it and you're not sure, then you go, okay, well, ultimately, I'm going to be okay.
Mhm.
And you are. You know, you are. You always are. And they always are too.
Mhm.
Okay. So it can help us worry less. You had asked me before we started recording to talk a little bit about like, how do you listen when we're really stressed?
Yes.
Right?
Mhm.
How do we trust ourselves when we're really stressed? So, first and foremost, if you have a good friend or even a coach or just someone you love, a family member who knows you, who trusts you, who wants you to trust yourself, ask them. Sometimes when we can't listen to ourselves, we can listen to someone who we really trust, who has our back, who's rooting for our joy.
Mhm.
We don't want to bring a painful scenario that we're dealing with to, the old term is negative Nancy, even though the only Nancy I know is the sweetest woman in the world. So I like to say shitty Sally's because I don't know anyone named Sally. So if your name is Sally, I'm sorry,
Sorry,
but
Sally.
but yeah, you don't want to bring those things to anyone who's gonna poo poo on it. You just say, hey, here's what I'm going through, and same with something you're so excited about. Like, hey, I might have this opportunity for a book deal. Don't bring it that celebration, that manifestation that you're calling into someone who's going to take a crap on it. Only share it with someone who's going to be like, yeah, right? Like, you guys, Lindsay's your girl. I'm your girl. You text us, message us, DM us to be like, hey, this amazing thing has happened or it might happen. Will you shine a light on it? Will you see it for me? Will you hold space for me? Will you light a candle for me? Hell yeah,
Mhm.
we will. Right.
Mhm.
So just don't bring that stuff to people who are not championing for you, not cheerleading for you. So if you're stressed out and you're having a moment, same thing. Only bring it to people who have your back.
Mhm.
And so just to kind of set it down for yourself. And if you're super stressed and you're in your head and you can't get an intuitive hit on something because you're worried, you're panicked, it has to do with your health, someone else's health, your money, someone else's money you care about, just pause. And that's where I started from the very beginning. In this moment, I'm safe. You're safe. Right now, you're so safe. Anything you're worried about right now, you're safe. Okay. If the building is burning down and you are inside of it and you are able to run out, you are safe.
Mhm.
And that's it. Okay. And on a very higher level spiritual perspective, if you can't get out and you're going to burn with that building, I hope that you know that ultimately your soul is eternal and you are love.
Mhm.
Now, that's not the best answer, right? Because we want to live.
That's okay.
But I always say, when the plane gets really shaky and I get nervous about turbulence and I say to my husband, I'm like, like, are we going to be okay? And he's like, the odds are in our favor. We're going to be fine. And you know what? If we're not, we're going to see each other in 5 minutes on the other side. I'm like, you're right. It's fine. It's fine, not to like bypass actually dealing with your fear, but at the end of it, honey, it's all okay. It's really all okay. Our only job here is to love and be loved as much as we can. And
Mhm.
it starts with us. It starts with being compassionate and kind to ourselves. And you are such a trailblazer for that work.
Thank
And
you.
you're welcome. Just to give everybody some context of the magic that is Lindsey Christian, I think this is the third time we've planned this meeting. And the first time I was having a moment. I don't know if I was sick or dealing with the dogs or what was going on. And I was like, Lindsey, I can't get it together. And I'm not the type of person who reschedules anything. And you, so in your strength and your power and your kindness, are like, Elysia, take care of yourself. Like,
Mhm.
you are the opposite of burnout because of what you've been through. So you're like, you're fine. We can reschedule. It's okay. And I was like, thank you. Right. So just more of that,
Mhm.
do more of that. Be kind to yourself, give yourself space, and show up. If you want to do something, show up for it. Your life is a result of the series of actions that you take on behalf of your dreams. So if your life doesn't look the way you want it to look, how can you take more aligned action, which usually starts with being kinder to yourself?
Mhm. Mhm. And same with you.
Mm.
You always have just the right energy to have whenever, I'm in a space and it's like, no, I get that energy of like, I don't know, this isn't working. But I think you have a great way of doing like a gentle push, but always in like the right direction, which is what we
Mm.
need because sometimes our fears can keep us, stuck. So you
Mm.
inspire the boldness in us to show up. So I love that about you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
Yes, yes. Oh, this was so amazing. Thank you so much for sharing the clairs and what to do when we are under stress and shifting and learning how to trust ourselves more and also your story and trusting yourself. I love that.
Thank
So,
you.
how can others find you or get in touch with you?
Well, there's a few ways. Would it be okay if I gave everybody a gift?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have this wonderful book called The Seven Secrets to Waking Up Happy Every Day. So
Ooh.
I'll give it to Lindsey. So check the show notes to grab the link. And that's the best way to find me. You'll grab the book. We'll have each other's email. And there we are. And also, my podcast is The Brilliance Method. It's available everywhere. I'm building my YouTube. So I would greatly appreciate you searching Elysia Skye or The Brilliance Method on YouTube and come and find me. Again, if you're driving as you're listening or watching to this, check the show notes and let's connect there. My social medias are my name, so you can DM me just about anywhere.
Perfect. Awesome. I know we'll have plenty of people reaching out to you.
Thank you, love.
Thank
What a
you.
joy. And make sure you check out Lindsey's episode on the Brilliance Method soon. If it's not out by the time this one is, it will be
Awesome.
right around the corner.
Yay. Well, thank you so much for your time today, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.